Thank you for tuning into my second video in the Jewel Orchid series. This video is going to go over the basics of self-pollination. This is my first ever attempt at pollination of a jewel orchid, so I have spent a lot of hours reading forums and brushing up on my plant physiology, and this is the result. So let's get started. In order to access the pollen, you're going to have to open the pollen cap. To do this, you can take a small needle and rub upwards. Once you gently open the pollen cap, you can see the pollinarium which resides inside. That little sticky end, which is attached to the needle at the moment, is called a viscidium. And the two elongated structures are known as the pollinia. These are the structures that contain the pollen grains themselves. As you can see, this was pretty quick and easy to do. I'm doing a quick replay in the upper right-hand corner just in case you missed it, but it's as simple as opening the pollen cap and accessing the pollinarium. Now, what happens if you open up the pollen cap and the pollinarium does not actually come out and remains on the flower? Well, it just means that you can remove the pollinarium with a small pair of tweezers, or you can use a paintbrush like I'm doing here and collect the pollen grains on the end. I only collected enough pollen so that I could see the smallest amount of yellow on the tip of my brush. Also, I recommend doing this in a well-lit space so that you can actually see. Now that you have your pollen, either in the form of the pollinia or on the tip of your brush, I'm going to show you where to put it. This little shiny area on the bottom of the flower lip, basically right under where you got the pollen, is called the stigmatic lobe. It's quite sticky, so you'll notice that the pollen that you get from the pollinia or from your brush will stick to it really easily. Because I was so zoomed in on the earlier video, it was a bit shaky, so I just wanted to use pictures to reconfirm the location. So here's a picture of the orientation of the flowers, and if we are to zoom into this, we can see the glossy stigmatic lobe on the underneath of the lip. Here is another picture of a different flower that I had pollinated earlier, and if we zoom in, you can see that instead of being white and glossy like the previous picture, it has this yellow color, and that's because the pollen has been adhered to it. Just to complement that information, here is a video that I took in the ungodly hours of the morning, so please excuse the weird coloration. It was quite dark when I woke up, but this is me using the pollinarium to actually pollinate the stigmatic lobe. So you can see that I just took it on the end of the paintbrush and just lightly rubbed it across the lobe. If you look closely, you'll be able to see the actual pollen grains adhering, and once you see a light dusting of the yellow pollen grains, you know that is enough. Anyways, that is the end of the video for today, and I hope this helps you all out on your road to happiness and orchid seeds. I will post an update video if I see any seed pod development, and the typical time range for seed pod development is only about a month, so fingers crossed. Anyways, good luck everyone, and happy growing! Did you find this video helpful? If so, let me know in the comments.